And gratitude, this is an amazing study. I got this from my mother. I just have to, speaking of women today, my mother taught me when I was the importance of being grateful, because my mother, every night when it was bedtime or just before bedtime, my mom would sit down with me and say, it's time to say our prayers before bed. And when we said our prayers, and it was just the Lord's Prayer, but before we said the Lord's Prayer, we would always list what we were grateful for. Thank you for my family, thank you for my home, thank you that Dad has a good job, you know, and occasionally there'd be the intercessory prayer, you know, Aunt Marilyn's not feeling well, please help her out. And then we'd say the Lord's Prayer. And I continue to do this to this day, by the way. You know, and I probably shouldn't talk about it too much, because when you talk about your interior life like that, it kind of pollutes it. Jesus warned us about that in Matthew. Don't talk about praying. But it's an important part of my daily ritual, is to be thankful. And it never occurred to me that what my mother was teaching me was something that was like the key to good mental health, or a key. But this is a remarkable study. This is from the New York Times. It's a piece by Christina Karen. And she talks about how 2 decades ago, 20 years ago, a psychologist by the name of Robert Emmons did a whole bunch of studies trying to find out what gratitude did to people. And had, you know, a study like, for example, where they have people every night before they go to bed just write down 3 things that they're grateful for. Real simple stuff. Or express gratitude to somebody intentionally. Find somebody to thank every day. And thank in a way that's specific, not just, hey, thank you, but, you know, thank you for doing, you know, X, Y, Z. And what he wrote, and this was 20 years ago, was gratitude heals, energizes, and changes lives. It's the prism through which we view life in terms of gift, givers, goodness, and grace. Well, now there's been a couple more studies on this, and sure enough, it's powerful, powerful stuff that you can do at home, kids. Just, you know, this most recent study, they asked participants to either write letters of thanks or to simply list the positive things in their life, and then measure the effects of those acts on a daily basis. And what they found was expressing gratitude to acquaintances, coworkers, friends, or romantic partners can provide a relationship boost. It helps bind us more closely. But perhaps more importantly, those who are more prone to experience gratitude in their daily lives have lower levels of depression and sleep better. In fact, this is such powerful stuff that you don't even have to do it. You can just watch it. This is from the New York Times. Watching an act of gratitude between 2 other people can cause the observer to feel more warmth and affinity toward both of them. And there's a subhead in the article. It's titled, One is Enough. Joel Wong, professor of counseling psychology at Indiana University School of Education, did this in a six-week group studying people who were experiencing depression. And he just, you know, he said, to develop an enduring gratitude habit, try linking your gratitude practice to an already ingrained routine. You know, I told you, for me, it's my prayer life. And I also try to go out of my way to thank, at the very least, my wife every day, because I think that that's important for our relationship. He says, I try to do it when I first turn on the computer at work. In other words, the act of turning on the computer while he's waiting for it to boot up, that's his time to review in his mind all the things for which he is grateful, all the blessings he has. It's powerful stuff. Okay. Enough of the geeky science. Let's pick up your phone calls here. David in Woodland Hills, California. Hey, David, what's on your mind today?
Well, one of the reasons for gratitude in all of our lives is the Thom Hartmann Show.
David, thank you.
Among the reasons that women are treated so badly, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for those sexual comments. I totally agree. And you just hit on this with the last phone call you had. It's capitalism. Capitalism puts profit above people, and who are viewed as the weakest people? Women.
All right, so if men can exclude half the population from the labor force, they get, there's more demand for labor, and therefore the price of labor goes up, so men get better benefits and pay.
Right. And from an astrological standpoint, we have just entered the age of Aquarius. This is the age of the humanitarian. And so capitalism is on the way out, and people above profit is on the way in.
Oh, that's interesting. I know you're a professional astrologer, aren't you, David? We've talked about this in the past, or at least.
Well, I've been doing it for about 30 years. I'm actually a matchmaker. Been doing it about 30 years, but I never charge anybody. It's not a business for me.
You do charts and say you guys are appropriate for each other?
Correct. And I'm also a relationship and a personality counselor. But again, I never charge anybody.
Fascinating stuff, David. Fascinating. So you think that we've come into a new age. Neil Howe has a new book. It's coming out July 17th called The Fourth Turning is Here, literally saying we're in a new age. I mean, he's not connecting it to astrology. But it seems like there's a convergence here, David.
I agree.
Yeah. David, thank you very much for the call. It's always nice to hear from you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. We'll be back with more of your calls in just a moment. It's 27 minutes past the hour. It's your media support group for We the People. Talk media for the sane among us, the Thom Hartmann Program.